Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was I was watching the new Red Letter Media. Actually, Naomi like came in and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm watching the new Red Letter Media." And she's like, "You know that you're 20 minutes late, right?" And I was like, "Oh." Womp womp. Here, hold on. You know what? Actually, here, give me a second. I'm gonna plug this in. I might lose microphone power for a moment. I'm still here, right? Okay, yeah. You still watch Lemon Leo? So much? Yeah, of course. Lemon is great. What are you talking about? Anyway, good morning. What's going on, everyone? My coffee is here. Oh, coffee's good. What's up, guys? How's it going? Did I forgot about us? No, I'm right here. If I forgot about you, I wouldn't have even arrived. Got some chicory coffee. Nice, nice. So, what's everyone doing today? What are y'all up to? The most recent other media thing I've seen was the Rogue One review. I know what that is. Listen, I watch nearly every Red Letter Media. I fucking love them. So, Dev's back with cigarettes and milk. I did read some of the pre-show chat, and there was complaints, and those complaints, the people who gave those complaints will be tortured and executed. I gave my physics exam on the 20th of February. I'm worried whether I'll pass or not. Good luck, man. Good luck. Hope you're okay. No, you will not actually be executed. I'm joking around. Um, I know, like, yeah, Titanium and Zonta were talking about, like, Dev doesn't show up. And you know what? Fair enough. I do know that I have to shore things up. And Titanium, you've been watching me for years. You know that I've had to shore things up for years now. But you know what? Things are slowly improving, right? Like, the past month, if you guys look back on the channel history, there's been, like, a lot of videos. There's been a lot of videos. There's been a lot of I've been hitting TikTok Tuesdays regularly. I haven't been doing a video every day, but I've been doing a video like 5 days a week. Um, there's been debate panels. There's been short videos. There's been long videos. Things have been okay. You know, like it's things aren't things are better than they were than I'd say a year ago, in my opinion. Alan Wake 2 and oh god. Maybe Alan Wake 1. Maybe Alan Wake 1 first. Thanks for the $2 though. Thank you. But no, the videos have been happening. The debate panels have been happening. They've been doing okay. Um, yeah. The ship is slightly righting. The next thing that I have to get back on is in fact streaming regularly again. That's obviously the next thing I must do. So maybe that'll be what I focus on next. Not much good ones though, and that out of context of Kirsch, I can't get behind. If you're still out here sucking Kirsch's cock, you're a retard. Simple as that. V and Aiden will never debate. Will never debate me. No, not gonna happen. Um, Aiden has pulled the weird like lefty feminist thing of being like, "Oh, he's an abuser," which is like fucking retarded, like giga retarded. V has said, "Oh, he's debated me before. He doesn't want to do it again," which that's true. We have debated before, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. back when V and I were friends, I kind of pulled my punches. Like, I didn't want to be the guy who took things too seriously. I didn't want to be the guy to like bring the mood down. So when it was those debates, I just kind of I was like, yeah. I didn't really like, I wasn't the asshole. I'm not sure if V could actually debate me if I wasn't, being nice, basically. Kirsch's trying to start things with Rima now. Again? Isn't it the 5th time she's fucking tried that bullshit? If you have evidence of what's going on, Zontar, send it to me. I want to see it. Now, Sargon has said that he would debate me, but I don't know if he actually will. He's the kind of guy who, like, he's, not complaining. He's very busy. He got shit going on. Despite, any other problems I might have with him, he's got shit going on, man. You still haven't responded to Aiden's accusations? No, I haven't. But, like, I can, like, I haven't done the video responding. But, like, I can tell you what they are. Like, she basically accused me of being a part of the Kraut drama from years and years and years ago. I didn't even know Kraut back then. It's fucking retarded. $5 from Zontar. Last day of my 3-week vacation. I don't want to go back to work. Oh, well, didn't do much as I wanted to. I finished moving all my computers over to Linux. Linux? Go Windows 11. It seems like I'll never have shit. I'll never stop having shit go on, apparently. It just seems like how it is, man. You said you would do the response videos 1.5 years ago. I'm like half done them. I've been working on them in the background as I've done other things. But I know, I'm being lazy. Watching Sargon go right where it has been weird to watch, but also kind of funny. It was kind of unavoidable, I think. Sup, Dev? Hope your Sunday is nice. You ever considered having fans on for quick debate? Yeah, sometimes. Just not right now. But yes, I've wanted to do that for years. I just haven't. You never did the full Canadian trucker video. You just made it a small part of a different video. That's true. I should have, and yeah, I even said like I was gonna eventually do a bigger one, but yeah. My entire life is just a pile of half-done videos at this point that I should probably figure out how to. I probably gotta like get back on ADHD meds and figure out how to fucking do them again. Are you gonna be on the next Arches Vampire campaign or not? At this point, probably not. Probably not. Even though the initial plan was for me to be on it, Art started getting very worried about losing his audience in the past few weeks, which is disappointing. It's fucking disappointing. But also he said that like Dev, if you do your response videos and they actually manage to turn the narrative in your favor, then I'll have you on. And I was just like, one, that's a little bit lame, Arch. Not gonna lie. But also two, my response videos will not actually turn the narrative in my favor because people who hate me are like, especially in Kirsch's case, are just so much larger than me in terms of popularity at this point that like my response videos will certainly help out people who like me, but it won't turn people who are predisposed against me. So like that just isn't realistic to believe. Did you hear about Phil Spencer and Xbox? I did. Doesn't he quit? Well, I don't know much about the Phil Spencer thing, but I do know that something is happening for sure. Ow. Ow. Kirsch is high-key insane. Why would you want to convince your audience to come back? I don't. No, the issue ultimately is that if you're talking about who can astroturf a narrative, Kirsch's audience is very capable of doing that, and they've proven themselves willing to do that as well in the past. But anyway, I'd still go do Vampire, but I don't think Arch is going to have me. If you were less lazy about doing the things you say that you're going to do, it'd be a lot easier to defend you. Yes. So here's the thing. Like, this is one of those situations where I'm not sitting here and being like, everyone's out to get me. It's all everyone else's fault, even though I do have quite a few deranged haters out there who have done some crazy fucking things. I can't really make that claim because I'm also my worst enemy. Like, I know full well that the things that I should do that I haven't done. Like, I can't really complain about other people moving against me if I haven't, taken care of my own house, put my own house in order, So I don't make those claims. I don't say, like, it's all someone else's fault. I don't make that claim because I know that, like, I haven't done all that I could. Oh, coffee's so good, man. But anyway, while I was watching Red Letter Media, I was finally cleaning the studio where I do the gaming streams because I haven't done them in I think a few weeks now. I've just a bunch of junk has been piling up, like stuff I've been ignoring. Like for example, I bought a new microphone arm for this microphone here, and like the trash for that's like in that room. And so while I've been watching Red Letter Media this morning, I've been doing some cleaning. So I do want to get back to that. You and Archer through? Not necessarily. Like, listen. I have my critique of Arch being a bit more audience captured than I think he should be. But that doesn't mean that I'm done with the man. Like, listen, when I ended up walking away from everyone else, it was because of their behavior. It was because they actually just treated me poorly. Okay? This is not violated that level yet. So, I was watching Red Letter Media, which is part of why I was late. I wanted to finish the new video, but also I was doing some cleaning, and I should probably talk about some articles, and so I can kind of get back to it, Let Arch wither away, assembling his harem of double-digit viewer VTubers. Dude, Arch does very well for himself. Arch gets like 1,000 viewers a stream. Like Arch is fine. Arch is good. Arch is not going to wither away. I'm the one who's withering, to be honest. Now, Arch does in fact go after like the double-digit viewer VTubers. He does do that because it's very easy to be the guy who like, and I don't blame him because I've done this before too. Back when I had more clout, it feels very good to like go to a small creator and help kind of like give them an audience and like, hey, come on my show, and then you start seeing them grow. Like it's a good feeling, you feel like you're helping someone out. And I've done that a few times. Arch has done that many times, and so like I kind of understand why he does it. If you could self-reflect, you likely wouldn't be losing your Gamergate viewers. But I can self-reflect. Here's the thing, right? Like, I've said this so many times recently, but I'll make sure to say it again. All of my old critiques of the left, I walk back exactly none of them. All the weird fucking woke shit, all the terrible like Gamergate journos, all the retarded feminists, all the crazy fucking socialists, all of the left-wing stuff that I've critiqued over the years, that was all correct, all right? The people who keep saying Dev has turned left-wing, no. I hold all of my old opinions. None of them has changed, all right? None of them have changed at all. I take back nothing. I don't have trolls remorse. I haven't changed my views on these things. The left is fucking insane, okay? However, the political situation we find ourselves in has massively shifted since pre-COVID, right? Things are fucking crazy now. One, like Trump season 1 was basically Trump sitting on a dildo for 4 years and doing nothing. Trump season 2 is fucking unhinged. 2, everyone has gone insane during COVID, the left and the right. I think COVID like brain raped everyone. Being locked inside for that long and like losing all hope for the future and etc. Like I think everybody, regardless of political affiliation, became much more extreme because they were just imbibing social media for like 6 months straight. And thankfully, the SJW takeover of the left back in the 2010s is not being repeated this time with the Democrats in the 2020s, because I'm hanging out in like these Democrat circles. I'm watching the debates happen. And this time the liberals are significantly more cognizant of the fact that the socialists are not their friends. So the situation is in fact changing. And so when you say like, oh, Dev, you've changed. No, I haven't. I've always been a liberal. I've always been a liberal this entire time. All right. Like I have, whenever I made anti-left videos, it was for liberal reasons. But the difference now is that the right wing has completely abandoned liberalism. It's gone. It's over. The right wing for a little while there in the 2010s were like the bulwark of defending liberalism. But now the right wing is like this neo-reactionary post-liberal fucking bullshit where they hate all these liberal values. Here's a great example. Like, do you recall back in like the 2010s, the right wingers would say like, listen, we have gay marriage in the West, and we don't want to import Muslims because Muslims are very anti-gay, they're anti-LGBT, and we're going to lose our liberal rights. And that, by the way, that's a completely reasonable thing to worry about. But guess what? Right wingers are now these fucking crazy Christian monarchists who are completely, they straight up want to ban gay marriage themselves. And so I'm just sitting here thinking, listen, I was okay with supporting the right when they were pro-gay marriage. Now that they're anti-gay marriage, I'm not going to support them. Like, fuck you. Of course not. Fuck you. So this is kind of how I'm viewing things. It's like I have a certain set of principles. Those principles have been pretty set in stone now in my personality for at least 15 years. And for a while, it was more right-wing groups defending them. But now things have changed. And now it's left-wing groups defending them. So that's who I'm going to go with. It's as simple as that. Like if the situation shifts again and we find ourselves in another 10 years and now the left-wingers are like have gone crazy and the right-wingers are more sane again, you bet I'll be supporting the right. I have no fucking loyalty to any of these groups. I have loyalty to my values. Those left-wing groups are still crazy. Yes, you guys keep saying that, but you guys keep saying nothing's changed. But like I've been in these groups for the past couple of years now, and I can see them changing real time. All right, I can see the libs giving meaningful pushback in a way that they did not in 2015. Like, listen, I remember 2015. I recall Sargon, who back then was a lib. He was like begging establishment Democrats to push back against the SJW nonsense, and they failed to do it. They failed to do it, okay? They're doing it now. I personally see the difference. The right was always against gay marriage. We liked Milo for his anti-left stuff, not his gay stuff. Listen, I mean, maybe you think that way, but you're just wrong. I definitely recall like 2016 era right-wingers being like, if we let Muslims in, we're going to roll back our progress. And that was true, by the way. I'm going to scroll back up. I missed a bunch of things. I'm going to scroll back up. Thank you for the donos, guys. I appreciate it. $2 from Starhawks. Archcast has become unwatchable since you left. Well, thanks very much. I appreciate the support. Maybe I'll return. Sean King, $5. Watching the first bit of the debate, and I don't think your detractors know the difference between bad faith and being wrong. Even then, they're in denial. Yeah, I actually had this conversation with Not So Erudite last night, I think. It was an offline conversation. It wasn't streamed or anything. But I was like, listen, in my opinion, bad faith is a sustained deception. It's when it's not just being wrong, and it's not just lying as a knee-jerk reaction. It's when you know that you're wrong, you know that you do not believe what you are saying, and yet you say it consistently as a part of like a larger false narrative. So like somebody who catfishes is doing a bad faith action because they've built up this entire persona that they've been living in through like days, like hours and days and months and weeks. So like they've crafted this whole alternative universe that is completely false. That's what bad faith is. And that's why I think like a bad faith person is a bad person. $10 from Festiva, thank you. I still have fucking, hold on. God damn it. I got sick 3 weeks ago. I got sick 3 fucking weeks ago, and I'm still like sniffling. Like I have fucking snot everywhere. Jesus Christ. Dude, fuck COVID. Holy shit. Oh, god damn it. Okay. A Festiva for wait, that's not what bad faith is. You made that up? No, that's what bad faith is. Here, I'm just gonna pull it up. Bad faith. Bad faith. Bad faith, malafides, is a sustained form of deception which consists of entertaining or pretending to entertain one set of feelings while acting as if being influenced by another. It is associated with hypocrisy, breach of contract, affectation, and lip service. It may involve intentional defeat of others or self-deception. Some examples of bad faith include soldiers waving a white flag, then firing when the enemy approaches to take prisoners. A company representative who negotiates with union workers while having no intent of compromising. A prosecutor who argues a legal position that he knows to be false. And an insurer who uses language and reasoning which are deliberately misleading in order to deny a claim. Yeah, so that's what bad faith is. In the book Being and Nothingness, 1943, the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre defined bad faith, this is where it first came about, as the action of a person hiding the truth, that the one to whom the lie is told and the one who lies are one and the same person, which means that I must know the truth in my capacity as the deceiver, though the truth is hidden from me in my capacity as the one deceived. Thus, in the praxis of bad faith, I must know that truth very precisely in order to hide it from myself the more carefully, and this not at two different moments of temporality. Wow. Something you just said? Yes, it is. I literally just fucking said in the K. Fuck you. Okay. Festiva, $10. I'm here to complain that my last message was going to be a super chat, but YouTube refused to tell me what I need to censor in order to take my money for a super chat. Yeah, YouTube is ridiculous, but like that. Thank you for the $10, though. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Lady Columbia, how are you? Lady Columbia, you've been gone for a while. Welcome back. How's it going? $10. It would be easy to get back into the Archcast, be a counterbalance, and keep up a legit friendship if you just made those general response videos. We enjoyed having you two talk. It's annoyingly simple. One day. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking at the supers here real quick. Where are they? It's sad how the left broke Sargon. To be honest, thank you for the $2. To be honest, I think Trump's losing, like, it just turned the entire right wing into the raped. That's really what it was. You know the meme? Oh, it's the raped. You know that meme? Like, the entire right wing got like just fundamentally psychologically broken when Trump was handed an L in 2020. That's why they spun off into their own reality, and they still exist in that alternate reality this entire time. For the past 6 fucking years, they've lived there. $5 from Sketch. If nothing has really changed in the 10 plus years, the anti-woke / illiberal right crowd must really be bad at advocating for their beliefs to be public. It's kind of funny because, like, you know, you have like deranged left-wingers who are like, Trump is a fascist. Trump is a fascist. Trump isn't competent enough to be a fascist. All right? Because there's a lot of negative things to say about fascism, but the fascists, at least for a time, got things done. They had an ideology, they had a plan, they followed it. They actually managed to successfully subvert various institutions in Germany, in Italy. They were proper totalitarians, right? Trump's whole movement beneath him is like too incompetent to actually do any of that. They can't fucking do it. It's really funny because, like, and by the way, they are trying. Like, all of those indictments that they keep bringing up to, like, go after their political opponents, they keep failing at the grand jury stage, right? All these lawsuits that keep getting dismissed, all these people who keep leaving Trump's regime because it's fucking ridiculous the things they're trying to do. Like, these are all signs that like, Trump world is trying to do this stuff and just horribly failing at it. Like, Trump is not stupid enough, and Trump is too stupid, and he's too incompetent to actually be a fascist. Lady Columbia, $10. The destruction of the monoculture due to internet fracturing everything has ensured that no matter what faction of a culture arises, it will rarely, if ever, take control for long. Far more dynamic. That's a problem, though. Like, there's a concept in sociology that comes from Veblen. I've used Veblen in several of my videos. You guys should know who he is by now. But in Veblen's work, there's a concept of democratic culture, and the idea of democratic culture is that, like, the upper classes and the lower classes, despite having a material wealth difference in a society, they still do the same things. Like, they watch the same entertainment, whether that be like a sport or, you know, some sort of gambling or some sort of like movie or whatever. Like, everyone kind of indulges in the same entertainment. Everyone kind of eats the same food. Everyone kind of has the same fashion sense, the same like religious beliefs. It doesn't have to be a one-to-one. You know, there's always going to be class differences, but a democratic culture is one where there's significant cultural overlap between the customs and practices of the lower class and the upper class. And having a democratic culture actually lends it causes a society to be more stable. It's more cohesive, because even if that guy might be making 100 times more money than you, maybe he has like a really fat bank account and you're poor. Despite that, you both know that you watched the same football game last night. And even if you're not cheering for the same team, you watched the same football game last night. You watched the same movie, last weekend at the movie theater, right? And so having a more democratic culture where there was very little differences between the classes gives society more stability. And it's kind of ironic because the internet has been a democratizing force. The internet has like given more people voices. It's given more people the ability to talk about things and to speak on things and to transmit information. So that in one way it's been democratizing, but in other ways it's been very anti-democratic, because now you have siloed off realities, right? Everyone's kind of off doing their own thing, and there is no shared culture anymore. And so the culture has become, in fact, less democratic as the communications become more democratic. And that's something that I'm still kind of wrestling with, right? Because, like, if you go talk to Vaush, for example, I always use Vaush as the go-to for this, because Vaush talks a lot about democracy. Like, he wants to democratize everything. We're gonna not just have a democratic government, we're gonna have a democratic workplace. Because he's a socialist. But Vaush's view is that more democracy is good, and it's like, okay, you can have that position, but that's a very one-dimensional position, in my opinion, because, as I just said, as we've democratized communication, we've actually seen democratic backsliding in culture. And so it turns out these things are actually more complicated than just democracy is good. You know what I mean? $5. The difference between the right in the U.S. and here is that when they lost, they couldn't believe they actually lost. We just lost faith in democracy. I don't think Canada lost faith in democracy, dude. $10 from Titanium. Thanks very much, man. Yeah, fascism legit work. They just made colossal blunders with conducting their wars. Though eventually fascism would fail because you cannot float an economy on constant wars. They're too costly. Well, what's kind of funny is, like, again, you look at the left, and the left will talk about fascism in like this kind of almost like, obviously fascism is bad. I'm not going to say it's good, but the left is like too obsessed with it in a sense, and also they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Like, the left will talk about, fascism is imperialistic and expansionist. They expand constantly, and it's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. But, like, Franco never did that. They will 100% believe that Franco's a fascist, and so do I. But Franco, he was not an imperialist. He did not like try to aggressively expand Spanish borders outward and like conquer the world the way that the Germans wanted to. Franco was an isolationist, right? There are several fascist regimes that were isolationist and not imperial. And so there's very clearly something different happening in these various regimes. And in fact, maybe that's why the Franco regime lasted for decades. It lasted for like what, 3 or 4 decades or something before it finally fell apart, because they didn't actually burn themselves out on just constant warfare. Is that 200 Kronor? Thank you very much, Matrix. Thank you. Liberalism went away sometime during the 20th century. We live in post-liberalism. Trump is the anti-liberal, but his ego-driven destruction, he has took more pro-liberal steps than his opponents crying about democracy. I don't agree with any of that. I think you're wrong on all those counts, but thank you for the $20. I really appreciate the support. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm nearly done my coffee. Done. Coffee complete. And my nose is still running. So, chat, how's it going? Thanks for all the donations, by the way. I do appreciate you guys chipping in. But what's the scoop? What are you guys thinking about? What else have I got going on? So, hopefully with the studio getting cleaned, we will in fact be able to God damn it, my nose. God fucking. Okay. Hold on. When will you come to live gaming again? Oh, well, I was just mentioning that. Like, now that the studio cleaning is kind of underway, I do want to return to doing the gaming streams once I've completed that whole thing. Oh, what do I have coming down the pipe? I think I mentioned this last week, but you guys remember the Pathways drama from last month? There was that like cringe left wing game made by the UK's Home Office with like Amelia, you know. I think that story's pretty much kind of run its course at this point. Like no one's posting Amelia edits anymore. It's kind of over. But I did a deep dive on it maybe 3 weeks ago, like right before I got sick. I did a deep dive on it, and then I got sick, and so I was like out of the game for like a week. And I've been going back and watching the creator, the guy who created the organization Shoutout UK. He's been doing panels and like interviews and stuff for the past 10 years. So when I was making that video, I know I talk about the drama, I talk about the game, you know. Then I wanted to like do a section of the video at the end where I did kind of what I did in the Skullgirls video, where I devoted the end section to just going over Mariel Cartwright's like various appearances over the years and how she's changed over time and what her ideas were, because there was some interesting stuff in there to kind of like lay out what kind of person she is and how is it that she came to this point where she ended up, you know, basically being an IP thief. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do the same with this guy, the guy who started Shoutout UK, because clearly he has a hand in Pathways. So I started watching his stuff over the past 10 years. And that took some time, by the way. It took a fair amount of time. I was watching and watching and watching, and it's like there's, you know, dozens of hours of this guy doing interviews. And unfortunately, I realized there's actually not nearly as much interesting stuff behind this guy the way there was with Mariel Cartwright. So I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude. I delayed this video by like an extra 2 weeks to watch all this content to try and find some like, you know, some spicy nuggets of information that no one else found in the story. And I found like nothing. You know, sometimes you go on a deep dive and like start digging things up and you don't find anything, you know. Sometimes you come up empty-handed. That's just how it is when you're doing deep dives. Sometimes there's just nothing to talk about. So I should probably at this point just put that video out because the story's already over. The video's like an hour long. My deep dive didn't go anywhere to try to get more meat on the bone there. So maybe it's time to just put the video out, you know? Maybe I'll do that next. Is Adam Friended going to become a groiper? No, I don't think so. What do you mean? Why would Adam become a groiper? Is Adam even white? Isn't like Adam some kind of like Asian mix, like white Asian mix? Echo Bahamut, thanks for the 100 Mexicans, man. Hi, Dev. Hope you're doing well. By the way, have you heard of Stephen Woodford? He runs the channel Rationality Rules. He's been making videos related to the current situation in America. I've never heard of him, man, but I guess I'll have to go look him up and see if he's doing anything interesting. Rationality Rules. Okay, but thank you. I'll check into him. Grippers are brown. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Goodman, thanks for the $5. Ever since you delved into limbo, I went back to the Family Guy song about him, and it's something. Family Guy song about who? Thank you, though. Loud Scissors, $20. Thanks, man. What's your definition of fascism? I think both Franco and Hitler can be called fascist because it's an ideology mainly defined by the extreme nationalism of those who practice it, making it kind of undefinable. It is not undefinable. This is a common thing repeated by left-wing people. It's also false, all right? I did a video like 4 years ago now called The 3 Forms of Fascism. People consider it to be one of my best videos. In my opinion, if I had to do it again, I'd change a lot of it. But it's not wrong. It's just it could be more complicated. It could be I could have gone more in depth in that video, but the 3 Forms of Fascism video that I did is considered one of my best. And this idea that like fascism is undefinable or it's inherently irrational, it has no ideology. These are all basically just left-wing cope. Fascism does have an ideology. It is definable. You can in fact read the political theory of the fascists. You can find out for yourself what they wanted to do. And back in like 2022 or whatever it was, I did that. I did that. So I would say, if you're someone who's maybe a little bit newer around here, that's fine. That's fine. Head back and watch that video. Head back into my backlog and watch that video. $2. Can you stop doing these stupid debates? No. Thank you, but no. Thanks, Titanium. Thank you very much, Titanium. Yeah, there are some people who don't like the dev debate arc, and to be honest, the only thing I can say to you guys is, sorry, I'm probably going to do more of those in the future. 1, because they're fun. 2, because while they're not necessarily new to me, it is like a skill set that I haven't developed, and I probably should develop a little bit more. If you watch me say in 2019, I couldn't debate for shit. I still can't necessarily debate that well, but I'm better than I was. And 3, there's also just a lot of truth to the idea that if you have certain views, you should be able to defend them on some level. You shouldn't necessarily have to be able to pull out the same level of argument that you would in a video essay in a debate because it's off the cuff, but if your views cannot stand up to scrutiny just by even just basic good faith questioning of them, then something's very clearly wrong with your views. And that is the problem with a lot of video essayists. Like the bread tubers who were making video essays, they all had this problem. Their problem was that their ideas did not stand up to scrutiny, but that's why they made video essays and they didn't do debates. The right-wingers nowadays who are refusing to debate, they have the same problem. They are off in their own little bubble. They have a hug box, they have an echo chamber, their ideas do not stand up to scrutiny, and they don't want to be challenged. Hey, Dracus, what's up? What's going on, man? Yeah, so I've realized that whenever I do debates, I know some people. I think Titanium, you said this at one point. I don't talk enough during debates, and fair enough. Well, no, I'm responding to you right now, Baldo. What's up? You said your only criticism that you don't talk enough. I get it, but I'm also not really a super bombastic person during debates. Some people are. Destiny very obviously is. There are other creators who are very obviously they're very in your face. For example, I think Soypill goes too aggro too fast in a lot of these cases. Not how I would do things. I've personally found that I get more results just straightforwardly asking questions. Right? I don't know if you guys recall, but there was a conversation maybe 3 or 4 months ago on Adam and Sitch where I was talking to Econoboy. And people I remember the Destiny versus Econoboy debate did eventually devolve into kind of a shit flinging match. But when I was talking to Econoboy, I just asked him straightforward questions. And I saw Adam and Sitch's chat. Adam and Sitch's chat was like, "Oh, Dev is shilling for Econoboy. Dev's a socialist. Dev's supporting the blah blah blah." And that isn't what was happening. Anyone who actually watched the rest of that conversation knew that wasn't happening. But it's like some retard said that. But others were like I would ask Econoboy a straightforward question, and then the retards in Adam and Sitch's chat would freak out because Dev's sweeping for the socialist. But then Econoboy would answer the question, and because I asked it in like a calm and polite and straightforward manner, Econoboy responded in also a calm, polite, straightforward manner. And then the response that Econoboy gave was kind of crazy. And he just like, it's almost like he said the quiet part out loud. And then Adam and Sitch's chat were like, "Oh my God, he actually said it." Oh, so like, this is kind of how I approach these sort of things. Is that I don't go in looking for gotchas. I don't go in trying to trap people into certain things. I go in, I present evidence pretty clearly and calmly. I ask them, "What did you mean by that?" And then hopefully they hang themselves with their own words. And so far, that's actually worked out pretty well. So, like for example, in the Wick debate I was on a few days ago, Destiny talked way more than me during that debate, right? Way more than me during that debate. However, the few times that I spoke, I think those were kill shots. And this isn't just me like, toot my own horn. I'm not just blowing myself up here, right? Like every time I opened my mouth during that debate, I was like, "Hey, you said this, so here's the proof of that." Or it'd be like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Or, "Hey," like it was this sort of thing, right? Like there was one example he gave the Thomas Drake example. The other guy was his name Steelborn or something. He gave the Thomas Drake example, and so he was talking like Thomas Drake. He did this, and like Obama persecuted him. And so I was just like, "Hey, that Thomas Drake was investigated. He committed the crime in 2002, and he was investigated by the FBI in 2007 under Bush, right?" And then there was like this 20-second pause where he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." It's one of those things where like you don't need to be bombastic. You just have to know what's going on, right? And there was another moment in that debate as well that I think was a pretty good kill shot. What was it? Oh yeah, he asked about the Disinformation Governance Board, and I said, do you know what the Disinformation Board actually did? And he immediately backtracked. He was like, "Oh yeah, they didn't actually censor anybody." And I was like, "Yeah, I know this, and you know this." Like, so, and I didn't need to be bombastic to get those to get those dunks, right? I simply needed to have the information and ask him straightforwardly, "Do you know X?" And then usually people tend to hang themselves with their own replies. And that's kind of how I approach debating. So I've heard people say that like Destiny and I are actually good debate partners because Destiny kind of brings the energy and he brings being very bombastic, while I bring facts. Not to say that Destiny isn't factual. He clearly knows his stuff on a lot of topics, but like he'll come in swinging. He'll be yelling. He'll be calling people retards. He'll be like he'll be getting them angry, and then I'll just be like, "Well, what about this?" And then like the facts kind of like undermine their view, and I guess Destiny kind of like puts them off kilter a bit. You know what I mean? I'm not into like the whole screaming and shouting thing. Not really. I do it on the gaming stream for fun, but like not in a debate, Do blood sports like a man. This is similar to how Leaflet debates. I watched Leaflet debate Niara, and actually like Leaflet did not do very well in that conversation. It was the same thing with Niara and Akko, right? Akko did not do very well in that conversation, And I don't like, regardless of my dislike of Akko, objectively speaking, like Niara is someone who is very slippery. Like they know how to like weasel around a little bit in a conversation. And I feel like neither Akko nor Leaflet, no offense to Leaflet, but neither of them were kind of equipped with dealing with, they were not equipped to deal with someone like Niara who was a bit more slippery, you know what I mean? Ryborio, $10. Thanks, man. I thought you were normal. Member exclusive vids, dog. The proletariat never forgives, never forgets. Thanks very much, man. Keep in mind though, those videos eventually came out later. Like I would like a situation where if I finish a video early, it's basically just members only until the release date. If I could get ahead on video production, I want to do that more often. Sean, thank you, man. After all of the controversy surrounding Destiny, why do you still associate with him? Genuine question. Well, one, Destiny and I aren't friends. This is not like it was with the Sargon days, where like I was friends with Sargon for like 8 years or something. It's not the same kind of thing. I I don't hate Destiny or anything. Lots of people just fucking hate this guy. I don't hate him. I just don't know him. I don't know him that well. I've had maybe like a dozen conversations with him over the years. Like I don't know him that well. I like his content, but we're not pals. So it's not the same kind of association. Secondly, after having looked into a lot of the various complaints surrounding Destiny, I think a lot of them are overblown. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe someone will come out with new information. But like people keep saying like, Destiny's a pedophile. It's like, okay, shit, that's a pretty serious accusation. Is there proof of Destiny being a pedophile? Because if you produce the proof, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess he is. But the proof never pans out. And this is what I mean, is that a lot of this is really just like false accusations. You know what I mean? So that's that. And also, I guess point 3 is that I don't necessarily care to do the whole, like, do you disavow thing? It's like, no, I don't. I don't do cancel culture. I don't like doing that shit. But thank you, Sean. Alaskan Knight, thanks for the 10 gifted. Really appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much for helping out. Thanks for pitching in, man. You're the best. And Titanium, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are very generous. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Jasso Havens, $5. Leaflet was really close a lot of the time, but she just kept making really bad art examples that didn't help her argument. Yeah. Destiny is just an asshole, so people have no issue with lying about him. That is the problem with the Destiny approach, I think, is that sometimes he's too inflammatory, which means that when someone says something that is just blatantly false about him, it becomes more believable in the eyes of like the casual viewer who's not following everything. That is a weakness to his approach, yes. Sweep. Who am I sweeping for then? What the fuck do you mean sweeping? Listen, all right? Okay. If someone actually gave me evidence of Destiny like actually raping somebody or something, do you think I'd be afraid to say it and be like, that's fucking terrible? Like, fuck this guy? I wouldn't be afraid to say that at all. The issue is that every single time I see an accusation, I look into it, and it ends up being bullshit. Hold on, let me get some lip balm. It's very dry here. I'm putting it on my lips. Oh. God damn it. Dude, I live in like one of the worst places in fucking North America. Jesus. Your Discord Jannies are Ziohazards. Oh, God. Hey, listen. All right? I'm paid by the Mossad. I am pro-Israeli expansion into every corner of the globe. So, deal with it. Watching as I eat butter chicken. Dude, butter chicken's great. I've definitely had some butter chicken. I've made butter chicken in the past, and it's great. I've just been wondering about it for a while as all. I don't hate Destiny either. He's just really weird with his lifestyle. I'm just curious about it as maybe you might get into his orbit. Who knows, man? Who knows? Dev, pass around the Mossad dollars. I have bills to pay. Have you seen the latest drama with Chud? I know that like I watched Food Shops talk about Chud versus Nick DeOrio. I don't quite know about what's going on yet though. I don't have enough information. The mod team is composed of insane mods with weird kinks and hobbies. Yes. Yes, they are. I'm thinking about stopping to eat non-veg after I move out of my home. Why? Meat's great. Yeah. It's so good. Okay, chat. We've been like chilling and hanging out for a bit. Do you want to talk about articles? Is that what you want to do? I don't mind doing that. That could be fun. Destiny gets what he deserves for living the life he does. Okay, listen. The whole like promiscuous streamer life where you're getting with e-girls or whatever, it's not the life that I would lead. I think it's probably self-destructive long term, but you have the freedom to do it. And that's the important part, is it not? That's the important part, isn't it? That you have the freedom to do it. That's how I view it. Yo, Dev, I appreciate you being the calm voice whenever you're on a WIC panel with debate panel with Destiny. Your calm demeanor makes him seem a little childish. Well, thank you very much, I guess. Thank you. Lawsuits, accusations, and cuck allegations. Okay, so this is what I mean, right? Like, a lot of this stuff is just going to be blown up, like internet stories passed around like games of telephone, you know? Like, yeah, he has lawsuits against him. I've looked into the lawsuits. I've read the court documents. I've looked at the evidence. They seem to be mostly bullshit, okay? Accusations, again, seem to be mostly bullshit. Cuck allegations. From what I understand, Destiny has open relationships, which means that like when he was married, he would fuck other people, but also she would fuck other people. He wasn't like sitting in the Sneeko chair, you know, crying and masturbating while watching his wife get plowed by a giant black man or whatever. Like, as far as I understand, that wasn't their dynamic. Their dynamic was that they would both sleep around. So was she getting cucked too? Like, it, I don't know, man. Just remember, I said this back during my meme video. Things that go viral are not necessarily true. Truth and virality, truth and humor are not necessarily correlated, okay? Oh, man. My fucking... God. Isn't one of the allegations that he screwed Nick Fuentes also? Yeah, people just keep saying shit, man. Until there's actual proof, it's all just internet memes. And you know what? Memes are funny. I get the appeal to joking, but don't act like it's real, okay? Dracus, you're leaving? You fucking traitor. Truth and popularity are not the same. That's why popular things are bad based. Okay. Destiny said if his parents perished at a Trump rally like Corey did, the cost-benefit analysis would be 0. Oh my god. Like, that's pretty harsh. But I also don't begrudge people for not being close to their parents. I'm not close to my parents. Devticles. Yeah, I guess it is article time, isn't it? Okay. Let's pull them up. God damn it. Would you work, internet? What do we got today? Would you go vegan? No. I like meat too much. No fucking way. But okay, let's go. Ghoulish fans of the Deadpool killer, Wade Wilson, begged him to impregnate them in a prison video call. Oh my god. Look at this guy. Okay, hold on. The ghoulish female fans of a convicted death row inmate, dubbed the Deadpool Killer, because he shares a name with the Marvel antihero, begged the heavily tattooed murderer to knock them up. So, Wade Wilson, his real name is Wade Wilson, 31 years old, who is awaiting execution for the murder of 2 women, was busy during his 2024 trial chatting it up in X-rated calls with his horde of admirers. So, here is Wade Wilson. To be fair, he is a good-looking guy, even though he's obviously, like, fucked up. And there's the girl. We're gonna have sex for hours. The besotted woman would swear allegiance to the so-called Deadpool Killer and gush over his voice and looks. It's gonna be so much fun when I can tell you I'm pregnant. I can't wait. I will sink my fangs right into your fucking left butt cheek. True crime fans. Oh my god. Okay. Any women in the chat who are willing to fucking answer for this bullshit? Any women in the chat? Any at all? Show yourselves and answer for your crimes. I can't wait until you get out. You're going to come here, I'm going to cook you a home-cooked meal, and we're going to have sex for hours. She would gladly go down to the courthouse where he was on trial so they can have sex all the time. You better come bang my brains out. Wade Wilson, tattooed under her wrist. Oh my god. Wilson was caught charged with the murder of Christine Melton, so he killed her. And he killed her. Wilson ran over Diane Ruiz with his car until she looked like spaghetti. Jesus. Women like it when you act like yourself. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Okay. World's largest kidney stone removed. Oh my god. How many Monster Energy drinks does this make up, guys? Let's zoom in a bit. The world's largest kidney stone has been removed from a patient in Sri Lanka. And it's about the size of a grapefruit, as long as a banana, and as heavy as 4 hamsters. What are these weird measurements? Okay. At 13.372 centimeters or 5.26 inches long and weighing 801 grams or 1.76 pounds. The kidney stone broke 2 world records when it was removed by Sri Lankan army doctors. Oh my god. Kidney stones consist of solid pieces of material that crystallize in the kidney. Yeah, of course. Yep. Relatively common. Yep. Look at that fucking thing, dude. Americans will measure anything but the metric system. Imagine pissing this thing out your dick, guys. Ouch. Italy's Lover's Arch collapses into the sea on Valentine's Day. Love is over, guys. So, this is the Lover's Arch. And this is it now, as the whole area collapsed. Mamma mia. Okay. A famous rock structure in Italy, dubbed the Lover's Arch, collapsed on Valentine's Day after days of heavy rain and strong winds. It was a tourist attraction for wedding proposals and was a popular landmark on the coast. This is an unwanted Valentine's Day gift. It was a very hard blow for the region and for tourism. Nature, as it created the bow, has taken it back. Yep. Rip. No more love, only OnlyFans. Dev, how do you feel? It must be a loss for Italian heritage. I'm Canadian, dude. I don't care about this shit. Oh my god, are they going to talk about global warming? Natural processes are often accelerated by meteorological phenomena, such as the tail end of Storm Oriana. Wow. R.I.P. guys. Okay, just fucking kidney stones constantly. Man's debilitating pain caused by 206 kidney stones. Jesus Christ, look at these things. You could, like, gravel a lot with this. Doctors remove 206 kidney stones. Oh, is this in India? Viramala Ramalakshmaya had spent 6 months in excruciating pain with pain medication from a local practitioner. Yeah, it's in Hyderabad, India. He had a 1-hour procedure and got 200 fucking stones taken out. He had been left in so much pain from the stones it had become impossible to carry out basic tasks. Dehydration could be the cause. Okay, yeah, got it. That's a lot of stones, dude. Holy fuck. That's a Hyderabad time. Okay. No thanks. Another Ukrainian woman has been killed in North Carolina, and MAGA doesn't care. So, I've spoken a few times about that Ukrainian woman who was stabbed by the black guy, the black schizo guy on the subway, because right wingers have been talking about this event for like 6 months now. It was like briefly overshadowed by Charlie Kirk dying, but it still comes back every once in a while. But like, they're like, no, America's in a race war and black people just want to kill white people and they all have like a deep-seated genetic desire to kill whitey and we have to fucking wake up and understand, like, all this fucking crazy shit, right? However, now that it's happened again, the right wingers don't give a shit because it's always about pushing a fucking narrative for them. Snardigan, thanks for the $5, man. Been a while. How are you? I just like the bad Trump stuff is doing, but won't one for an anti-white party under any circumstance. Good luck. Have fun next election. Hope you're doing okay, Snardigan. Hope you're doing okay, man. Okay, yeah. A Ukrainian refugee was killed in North Carolina this weekend. Katerina Tovmash, 21, and her partner Matthew Wade were shot dead inside their home in North Carolina on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Rip. Motives behind their murders are unclear, but authorities have identified her ex-boyfriend, Caleb Hayden Fosnow, as the suspect. And there's Caleb himself, I guess. Shot dead. Yeah, I know. Okay. He apparently drove 7 hours from his home in Ohio, broke into her house, and killed her and Wade. He was caught back in Ohio soon after, and he's been charged with murder. Okay. Tovmash is the second Ukrainian refugee to be killed in the state of North Carolina in the span of 6 months. Irina Zarutska was killed by a mentally ill man on public transport in Charlotte back in September, in what is widely considered a random attack. The only difference between Tovmash and Zarutska is the lack of MAGA outrage between the two killings. Zarutska's killer is a black man, and Tovmash's killer is a white man. Yes. And this is, okay, this guy, by the way, is like a lefty. So he talks about, like, oh, they're going after Okay, yeah. This guy has his own slant to it. In this article. But this is still an important point, all right? Yeah. Left-wingers talking about race, they have some ulterior motives, for sure. Right-wingers talking about race, they definitely have some ulterior motives. Irina's killing was racially motivated. No, it wasn't. The guy was a schizo, all right? He had this long documented history of being off his fucking medication. That's what motivated it. I was on the Archcast when the black dude killed that chick in the subway. I said that I don't think he did it just because she was white. The chat hated me for it. Yeah. Yeah, I got that white girl. Completely mysterious. Listen to me. That's definitely evidence pointing towards it being racially motivated. But the fact that he had a 10 years documented history of having schizophrenia, and also documented history of being off his medication, and also being arrested before for schizophrenic-like outbursts, that's stronger evidence in the other direction. Schizos like stabbing no matter the race. Yes, exactly. Now, like, listen, if you have like a person who is schizophrenic, who is also a racist, I'm sure they're gonna justify their schizophrenia with the racism. I get it. All right, I get it. But if you seriously think that, like, if you just zapped the racism out of that guy's mind, he wouldn't have done it, no, I don't think so. He was a fucking schizo. Oversized trash panda. Bus killer was released multiple times due to soft on crime policies pushed by leftists who think prison is racist. Not the same as this situation. No! If you look at his record, all of his fucking crimes were actually minor crimes. It's not like he was out here stabbing people constantly and you had some like retarded feminist judge who was like, oh, it's okay, Black Lives Matter, we're just going to give you a snap on the wrist. No, all of his crimes beforehand, he had like 14 crimes, but they were all like minor things, man. Like, oh my god, do you have to fucking prove this to you? Hold on. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let's fucking do some bullshit again. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Zoom in. The suspect, DeCarlos Juan Brown Jr., has been arrested 14 times before the stabbing, with criminal charges dating back to 2007. On April 11th, 2014, he was convicted of breaking and entering. Like, hold on. Do you think, for those of you guys who are like, oh, 14 times, soft on crime, he shouldn't have been on the... Do you think he should have been put in jail for life for breaking and entering? No. While on probation, he was arrested for armed robbery and possession of a firearm by a felon. He was convicted of armed robbery and incarcerated in a state prison from 2015 to 2020. He was in jail for 5 years over the armed robbery. Like, okay, Wikipedia, the most non-biased source. Oh my god, you want to go to the articles? Like, they're right here. Like, we can just go see them. We can just click on these. Like, it's not hard to go see them. Like, are you guys coping that fucking much? Upon his release, he was initially living with family, but his mother told ABC News he was diagnosed with schizophrenia at that point, and he displayed violent behavior at home. His mother said she had sought involuntary commitment, but it was denied. By the way, he should have been involuntarily committed, obviously. So this is a failure here of the system. Involuntary commitments are difficult to obtain unless a court finds a person to be dangerous. North Carolina reduced the capacity of state hospitals in the early 2000s. Man, almost like we should be funding those things a little bit more. He stopped taking his psychiatric meds. His mother took him to a homeless shelter. In January 2025, he made repeated 911 calls from the grounds of a medical center after speaking with medical personnel there, claiming that a man-made material inside of him was controlling his body. Instead of being immediately admitted, Brown was charged with the misuse of 911 instead and released without bond. So, like, listen. We can critique the system here. The system has made several obvious errors, including, in fact, the closure of asylums. Asylums absolutely need to be reopened, but no one wants to do that. No one wants to do that, man. Like, the left doesn't want to do it because it violates the rights of the differently abled or whatever the fuck, and the right doesn't want to do it because it costs money. Wait, how the fuck are you reading this and saying he should have been committed and not seeing that this shit is my point? No. Your point was soft on crime policies from leftists, not he should be committed in an asylum. Those are two separate points. Okay? He should have been committed. Absolutely. But soft on crime policies? He went to jail for 5 fucking years. That's where you're wrong. Okay? Like, what? Should he have gone to jail for 10 years over making like repeated 911 calls? No. Okay. Anyway, this is completely true, by the way. The reason the right wing got massively upset at the Irina Zarutska thing was because it fit their narrative of black race warriors wanting to exterminate the white race. That's why, you know what? Like, Pondering Politics lives in the city this happened in. Not this one, the other one, the Irina one. And I even asked him, like, hey, listen, what was going on? Like, what happened? He said, well, it was a regional news story for a few weeks, and the news cycle moved on, which, by the way, happens with every time there's like a random murder that doesn't go viral online. The only reason the story came back is because libs of TikTok posted about it fucking constantly. $5 years for armed robbery while on probation. Yes. You should have been in for 20 after the armed robbery. Okay, yeah, you can have that opinion, but I mean, that's not how the law is currently written. The reason we don't do an involuntary commitment is the same reason we don't do in prison. Radical leftist bullshit. No! No. That is only part of it. Another part of it is right-wing bullshit. Because you know what? Right-wingers don't want to fund any of it. That costs money. Right-wingers don't like the idea of the government spending money on shit. Right-wingers are absolutely pro-cutting asylums. You know what right-wingers say? Okay, if you spend any time in right-wing spaces, they're like, don't take your meds, just muscle through it, you know? Listen to a life coach, dude, just giga chat it. It's like, okay, dude, you're fucking retarded. Don't go to therapy, it's all just cope, it's all just fucking programming. Drink whole milk. Like, no, man. Right-wingers absolutely play a huge part in why this whole thing fucking fell apart, all right? Don't just sit here and be like, it's radical leftists. No! Think smarter. I better never hear Dev complain about straw manning again in my entire life. It's not straw manning. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is, oh my God, I can't fucking believe you guys. This is not a straw man. This is reality, all right? Right-wingers do not care to spend on asylums. That is just true. That is just fucking true. Oh yeah, it's raw milk. Yeah, my problem, my bad. Raw milk, not whole milk. My bad, my bad, my bad. Isn't Trump literally saying we need to open asylums constantly? Is Trump doing it? Is Trump redirecting funding to do so? Otherwise, it's just bullshit. All the right-wingers that I've said should be locked into asylums. Okay, fair enough. Where's the push to fund them? Where's the push to fund them? Come on. Show me the fucking bills being passed. Show me the bills being introduced. Yeah, I am reframing it because I don't care what they talk about. Anyone can talk about anything. What are they doing? Does it entirely lie on Trump? Oh, no. It also relies on Congress, which is full of right-wingers who are also not doing anything. Yeah, it's their fault. Devin, I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm a lefty lib, and you've been full of grade A fucking bullshit lately. Then prove me wrong! Just prove me wrong, baby. Prove me wrong. Don't just sit there and say it. Prove me wrong. Here, let's move on. Let's go to the next story. Missouri firefighter steals wallet from a victim at a scene of a car crash that killed 4 people. Oh my God. Okay. A firefighter has admitted to stealing a victim's wallet after a car crash that killed 4 people. You mean 4 people? Pocketing the cash and then using his debit card. Arnold Britt, 40 years old, pled guilty to receiving stolen property and fraudulent use of the credit card on Monday. He asked Seven Robinson Laney, 18, this is him, the guy who was stolen from, one of the 4 injured in the crash, to give him his wallet for identification. He never returned it and instead stole the $674 in cash and $200 in gift cards and then racked up $120 of the charges on his debit card. What the fuck, dude? So, he was a football player. He became a firefighter. And then he stole this kid's fucking wallet and just spent all of his money. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit, dude. Yet he was charged last October. A grand jury indicted him. Police reviewed body cam and surveillance footage from the scene and 3 shops where Britt used the debit card. He told police he used the card by accident, thinking it would belong to his wife, who used the same bank, and he planned to notify the card's owner. The kid had the cash and gift cards in his wallet because it was just his birthday. He was saving up to buy a car. Oh, okay. That's not really a reason to have it, but maybe you were dealing or something. I don't know. One of 8 people in a 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe that was knocked off an overpass and landed on its roof. Oh my God. Richard Boyd, Brianna Dentman Johnson, Corntrail McKinley, and Anthony Robinson. Anthony Robinson, didn't Anthony Robinson play Garrick in DS9? But they all died, RIP. And then this kid suffered a concussion and broken bones. Damn. That sucks, man. RIP. That's where they went off, eh? Jesus. So they were driving around. Another car hits them. They go over the edge, flip over, and 4 out of 8 people in there fucking die. Oh, that fucking sucks, dude. Okay. The U.S. could block obese visitors from entering the country. Oh my God. This is actual fat phobia for real. The U.S. State Department has issued guidance recommending that overweight people be denied immigrant visas. The directive names obesity as one of several medical conditions that could come at an expense with others, including cardiovascular diseases, cancers, and mental health conditions. Health experts have argued that these conditions could require hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of care, putting a strain on the healthcare system. The Trump administration is putting the interests of the American people first. This includes enforcing policies that ensure our immigration system is not a burden on the American taxpayer. Wow. This is one of many moves the U.S. has made to make it more difficult to obtain work visas since Trump's return to the White House. There is now a $100,000 a year fee for H-1B visas. Jesus. Okay. H-1Bs used to come with a fee of $2,000 and $4,000. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is all just like the immigration ban. But yeah, the important part, though, is they're banning fatties. No fats allowed. Shit. I gotta lose weight. Okay. Instagram influencer jailed for trafficking and slavery. When 2 young Brazilian women were reported missing in September 2022, their families and the FBI launched a desperate search across the U.S. to find them. All they knew is that they were living with wellness influencer Kat Torres. Who's Kat Torres? Let's see. Let's look at who Kat Torres is, guys. Let's see. Kat Torres, born in 1988. Grew up in Brazil, began competing in pageants, modeling, moved to the U.S., hung out with Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. This is from 2013. Is Leonardo DiCaprio dating model Kat Torres? So she started trafficking women? Okay. All right. Okay. She's been sentenced to 8 years in prison for the human trafficking and slavery of one of those women. Oh my God. She kind of resembled Hope for me, says Anna, describing her reaction on stumbling across Torres' Instagram page in 2017. Anna was not one of the missing women targeted in the search, but she too was a victim of Torres' coercion and would be key to their rescue. She was attracted to Torres' trajectory from impoverished Brazilian favela to international catwalks. Oh my God. So, Anna moved to New York to work as Kat Torres' live-in assistant in 2019. $2 from Snardigan. Max for armed robbery in North Carolina is 17 years. He got 5. Okay. What's the point exactly? Like, you do realize they don't give the max every time for reasons, right? Okay. Anna was in a vulnerable situation herself. She said she had suffered a violent childhood, moved alone to the U.S. from southern Brazil, and was previously in an abusive relationship. Kat Torres recently published her autobiography, in which she claimed she could make predictions as a result of her spiritual powers. Oh my God. She was on the cover of magazines. She was seen with famous people such as Leonardo DiCaprio. Everything I saw seemed credible. Okay, so Torres' ex-flatmate in New York told us that her Hollywood friends had introduced her to the hallucinogenic drug ayahuasca, and she was never the same again. That's when she started going off the deep end. She was working as a sugar baby, paid for romantic involvement with wealthy and powerful men who were also paying for the flat they shared together. Is the radical left in the room with us right now? Okay, listen, if you're a lefty, I understand, buddy. There is a radical left in America. It is crazy. They are bad, okay? Thank you for $5, but I'm a centrist for a reason. Okay. Torres' wellness website and subscription service promise customers love, money, and self-esteem that you always dreamed of. Self-help videos offered advice on relationships, wellness, business success, and spirituality, including hypnosis, meditation, and exercise programs. For next to $150, clients could unlock exclusive one-to-one video consultations with Torres, during which she would claim to solve any of their problems. Amanda, another client who lives in the Brazilian capital, says Kat made her feel special. All my doubts, my questions, my decisions, I always took them to her first, so we could make decisions together. But it appears the advice had a dark side. Anna, Amanda, and other former followers said they found themselves becoming increasingly psychologically isolated from friends and family and willing to do anything that Torres suggested. When Torres asked Anna in 2019 to move to New York to work as her live-in assistant, she agreed. She had been studying nutrition at university in Boston, but arranged to study online instead. And she says she accepted the offer to look after Torres' animals. Okay. So she got paid $2,000 a month to look after her animals, do her cooking, laundry, cleaning. When she arrived at Torres' apartment, though, she quickly realized it did not match the curated perfection projected on the influencer's Instagram. It was shocking because the house was really messy, really dirty, didn't smell good. Torres seemed unable to do even basic things without her, like taking a shower because she couldn't bear to be alone. She describes having to constantly be available for Torres, only being allowed to sleep for a few hours at a time on a sofa covered in cat urine. She says some days she would hide in the apartment building's gym, grabbing a few hours sleep rather than working out. Now I see that she was using me as a slave. She had satisfaction in it. She was never paid. I felt like I was stuck here. I don't have a way out. I was probably one of her first victims of human trafficking. She had given up her university accommodation back in Boston, so she had nowhere to return to, and no income to pay for alternative housing. After 3 months, Anna found a way to escape by moving in with a new boyfriend. Okay. Yep. Let's see here. Oh, man. When the families of 2 other young Brazilian women had reported them missing in September 2022, she had to act. By this point, I'll read the super chats after this, guys, okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. By this point, Torres' life had grown in scale. She was now married to a man called Zach, a 21-year-old she had met in California, and they were renting a 5-bedroom house in the suburbs of Austin, Texas. Torres targeted her most dedicated followers, trying to recruit them to come work for her. In return, she had promised to help them achieve their dreams. Wow. So, Desiree Freitas, a Brazilian woman living in Germany, and Brazilian Leticia Maia, the 2 women whose disappearance would go on to spark the FBI search, moved to live with Torres. Another Brazilian woman, who we're calling Sol, was also recruited. So, this is her house. Okay. At least 4 more women were almost persuaded to join Torres in the house that they had pulled out. Some of the women were too scared to appear in the BBC's film, afraid of receiving online abuse. We've been able to verify their accounts using court documents, text messages, bank statements, and Desiree's memoir about her experiences. Okay. Torres is accused of persuading Leticia, who was 14, to move to the U.S. for an au pair program and then drop out to live and work for her. Oh. So, what did these women end up doing? Torres pressured them into working at a local strip club, saying if she didn't comply, Desiree would have to repay all the money she had spent on her. Flights, accommodation, furniture for her room, even the witchcraft that she had performed. Desiree said that not only did she not have this money, she also believed at the time in the spiritual powers Torres claimed to have. So when Torres threatened to curse her for not following orders, she was terrified. She reluctantly began to work as a stripper. She would work 7 days a week. Oh my god. Just recruiting girls and fucking setting them off to the strip clubs. Holy shit. It was very difficult to get out of the situation because she holds all your money. Let's see. Sol says she realized she needed to somehow escape after overhearing a phone call in which Torres was telling another client she must work as a prostitute in Brazil as a punishment. Jesus. This is like the female Andrew Tate, guys. Holy shit. Timu Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. $20 from Good Faith Gary. Thank you very much. Dev, why can't you just agree with our position that we need to craft laws to allow us to redact those that fatigue us? Every rightoid in the chat. Thank you, man, for the $20. Snart again, $5. Not saying they give the max every time. I'm saying this is some evidence for the soft on crime theory. Also, another one lost to IS. I don't know what ayahuasca is. I don't know what that is. But as for the soft on crime thing, you need more evidence, man. Like, maybe it's actually appropriate. You only got 5 years for that. You have to look at the court and see this. You can always find the court documents and read the ruling and say, oh, he was given 5 years rather than 10 for XYZ reason. Like, there's reasons for these things. It's not just like, oh, we need to allow black people to run around stabbing others. Like, no, need more evidence. Need more evidence. Okay. WTF 1A, executive order. Let's see, ending crime and disorder on America's streets. Here's the problem with executive orders, all right? Executive orders, frankly, don't mean much. Something that I've come to learn is that executive orders are like directing what the executive is focusing on, but it's not the same as passing a law. It's not the same as allocating funding from Congress, all right? Executive orders aren't nothing, but they mean a whole lot less than most people think they mean. But thank you for the money, guys. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I think this woman was basically trafficking and pimping these two women. Wow. Amazing. That's wild. It almost seems like a fucking porn at this point because they're all like good-looking girls. Like this could be like someone's fucking porn story. Why is the same woman pictured 3 times? Okay. Non-binary client wins discrimination case against a Montreal area hair salon. This is a fucking retarded story, guys. $10, Mr. Blood Muffins. Thank you. If a person is deemed not responsible for his own actions due to insanity, does it not follow that someone must be designated responsible for them and this subject to any future liability? I mean, yeah, but that's why he's probably going into an asylum fucking now after stabbing the girl, right? Thanks for the $10, though. I appreciate it, man. Okay. When Alexei Frederick Mignot, I don't know fucking know French names. I don't fucking know. Suddenly began experiencing hair loss. They thought a haircut would just be a thing to help them feel confident again. They didn't realize trying to book an appointment at a Montreal salon would lead them to a years-long legal challenge. That chapter came to a close earlier this month when Quebec's Human Rights Tribunal ordered the Station 10 hair salon in Quebec to pay them $500 in damages, as it ruled they were the victim of discrimination. It all started in 2023 when they went to book an appointment for a haircut. Prices there are significantly cheaper when booking in advance, and the only way to do that is by filling out an online form. At the time, the form forced them to specify whether the service was for a man or a woman. Choose whichever is something that is said to a lot of non-binary people, but it's extremely tricky for us to do that. No, it's not. Choose whatever. as soon as we pick one of those two options, we force ourselves to become either completely invisible or have to come out. You're retarded. The salon felt extorted. They decided to reach out to the salon, try to find a solution, but was told the only way to book an appointment was online and to choose one of the two gender options. Like, okay, yeah, the salon could have just had like a prefer not to say option. That's fine. But you know what? This is fucking stupid. This is not worth $500 fucking dollars. This is ridiculous. Snardigan, thanks for the $2, man. You're right. It warrants digging. Right wingers agree. Most right wingers don't agree. Right wingers are out there posting that it is a fucking race war happening, dude. I super heart 20 and up, man. That's what's going on. Okay. In an email chain attached to the tribunal ruling, the salon staff explained the choice would have no bearing on the haircut itself, and said they never had issues accommodating people in the 2S LGBTQ plus community in the past. Oh my god. So they took it to the Quebec's Human Rights and Youth Rights community. Oh god, I fucking hate this bullshit. In 2024, they determined that they were the victim of discrimination and recommended the salon pay $500 to avoid the risk of being sued. Oh my god. Fuck. But Station 10 refused. The salon's co-owner said that his colleagues would be happy to cut their hair. When they did more research among the plaintiff, they felt extorted because they've made complaints about other businesses in the past. Oh my god. They had wide recognition in 2023 when they went on a hunger strike to pressure the RAMQ, whatever that is, to add a non-binary gender option, an X, to the province's health insurance cards. God, they're fucking stupid. Yeah, they appealed. Okay, so listen. I do think this is probably extortion. This person's going around. This person's talking about how there's not enough non-binary shit in society, going after multiple organizations. This is extortion, in my opinion. This is fucking stupid. Okay? Like, yeah, you know what? There should definitely be an option online. Prefer not to say. Just click that. Okay, fair enough. But is this discrimination? Is this $500 worth of discrimination? No, it's not. It's just stupidity. And this person is probably like a fucking professional grievance artist or some bullshit. By the way, all the crazy things that you guys think the left in America does, they don't actually do. They actually do it in Canada. Canada's left is fucking unhinged. Canada's left is like fucking ridiculous, dude. A wheelchair-bound maniac exits police station after jaw-dropping footage showed him dragging dead woman down the New York City street in a sleeping bag. What the fuck? Okay. The wheelchair-bound man accused of dragging a dead woman's body down a New York City street in a sleeping bag was seen holding onto a plastic urinal as he exited the police station. Oh, it's like that's how he pees if he has to? Okay. His name is Chad Irish. Okay. Chad Irish. Oh, thanks for the $5, WTF. Tennessee lawmakers passed bill to involuntarily commit some defendants, judges, incompetent for trial. I'm done wasting money at this point. It's not a waste, buddy. Keep sending it over. I'm going to extort you the same way that one Brazilian chick did. Thanks for the support, though, man. And listen, man, I agree with you. I'm happy if they're actually changing this thing, man. But like, change is slow coming. If you genuinely believe that I'm wrong, DM me all your sources on Discord and I'll look at it. Okay. Let's keep going though. So, Chad Irish, he was wheeled out of the 13th precinct in Manhattan to face murder charges in the death of Yasmin Williams, whose body was found dumped outside with the trash last week. The 31-year-old woman was shot dead before the was passed with things. Oh, well, then what the fuck you want me to say? Okay, WTF, you can. I appreciate your support, but if all you want to do is be mad, you can just be mad. Okay, I'm also done. He now faces charges of murder in the second degree, criminal possession of a weapon, and loaded firearm in the second degree, as well as concealment of a human corpse. So, A man in a motorized wheelchair, believed to be Irish, was dragging along a sleeping bag on the street with her in it. Okay, do we have like the footage of that? There's a woman who died. R.I.P. Yeah, here it is. So, fucking Wheels here probably kills this chick with a gun. And is like, I gotta dispose the body. I gotta fucking dispose the body. I'll just drag it in the fucking sleeping bag. Okay, like, it's sad she's dead. This guy's a scumbag. But this image is kind of funny. Like, I'll just roll along down the street dragging her. What the fuck, dude? Okay. Where were we in this article? Okay. Down here. The New York police... It sounds like a Chappelle skit. Yes, it does. The New York police responded to a report of a suspicious package amid trash in front on the 27th Street and 3rd Avenue. Okay, yeah. They found Williams' corpse wrapped up in a sleeping bag, and the medical examiner later ruled she died from a gunshot wound to the head. Inside... Police later named Irish as a person of interest in the murder investigation, as she would sometimes stay at his house. It's unclear if their relationship was romantic in nature. Antoine Fraser, who grew up in the apartment complex where Irish lives, said he confronted Irish about the murder on Monday. I said, "What did you do with that young girl?" He said he didn't do nothing to that young girl. I just brought some laundry down that was stinking in my house. Drop it off. I told him, "You're a dead man. You shouldn't be around here." He said, "Next time you see me, you should be worried about me." And that's when he brandished a gun. Oh my god. This is fucking ridiculous, dude. "You killed my daughter," Williams' mom, Nicole, yelled as he was loaded into the van and the cracking near the bank's house of the vehicle. Looks like scum. Yeah. That's where she was. Fuck, dude. Like, this is sad, alright? Yeah, there's like dark humor with this image. But this is pretty fucking sad, though. This is sad. Sicko Long Island woman who got off to screams of babies gets 7 years for sharing taut rape porn. Oh my god. A deranged female child therapist. Oh my god. A deranged female child therapist was sentenced to 7 years in prison on Friday for sharing revolting baby rape videos online, where she also pretended to be a father who raped his own children. Taut is another word in English for child. Rena Hoberman was blasted by prosecutors as a vile predator who got off to the helpless screams of babies. Oh my god. 7 years, more soft on crime evidence. Fair enough. Fair enough. She's a danger to society. More than 100 images were found on Hoberman's devices and accounts, many involving the stomach-turning abuse of young toddlers and even newborns. Hoberman, a licensed social worker from Plainview, pleaded guilty in June to distributing child porn videos on the social media app Kik, including footage of a baby less than 1 year old being raped. Jesus fucking Christ. She entered the courtroom with a smile and waved to family members, but her smile dropped after Sabert handed down 7 years. Why are you walking and smiling? Are you an idiot? Her defense attorney said she was abandoned and sexually abused herself as a child, but didn't go into details. She later turned to drugs, including crack, to cope with the trauma, and she is now 16 months sober. She asked Judge Joanna Sabert to sentence her to 2 to 3 years in prison, but Sabert was not convinced. These are babies. Something needs to be done. Jail is a deterrent. What I've been through is no excuse for my actions. One of the videos that she shared showed a baby between 6 months and 1 year old being held down and raped by an adult man. Oh my god. She participated in perverted online chats in which she posed as the father of several children and claimed to have sex with them. Oh my god, dude. Oh. Wow. Florida man caught feeding wild alligator resists arrest. He's a good boy and he loves bagels. We're just going to move on from that one. A Florida man who allegedly resisted arrest after being caught illegally feeding an alligator named Hank in his neighborhood pond described the 10-foot beast as a good boy and a good friend. Paul Fortin, 67 years old, was issued a citation by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission over the incident. He was arrested by police and taken to county jail after refusing to accept the citation and resisting an officer without violence. He's a good boy. He lets me pet him. He sits there and he loves bagels. He's such a good friend. It's illegal. It's really illegal to do it. Did I know it? No. Did I know I couldn't feed a turtle? Alligators? Yeah, I kind of knew that. I don't know. Maybe I'm Dr. Dolittle. Maybe I'm Dr. Dolittle, guys. Okay. Well, there we go. If you're out here feeding your alligator friend at the park, you might go to jail. Mr. Blood Muffins, thank you. You can't feed the gator bagels, but at least be legal to eat the subject of the last article. Let's hope, guys. Let's fucking hope. Okay, what's next? Ohio mayor arrested on voyeurism after allegedly sniffing a girl's underwear. Oh my fucking God. Google Florida man birthday challenge. A friend of mine got Florida man sentenced to moral therapy after assaulting a despicable meme minion. That's insane, dude. You know what? I'll Google that for next week, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for the $5. Okay. Let's see. A Republican mayor in Ohio is facing criminal allegations after authorities say he was recorded on a concealed camera sniffing an underage girl's underwear. An incident report from the Richland County Sheriff's Office details the accusations against Wesley Dingus. Wesley Dingus? That's the fucker's name? Straight to Alligator Alcatraz. Oh my God. Okay. Wesley Dingus. He's mayor of Butler. The claims came from a juvenile who was staying at his residence. According to the investigators, the teen had hidden a small camera in a bedroom in the home. On the 13th of January, she reportedly received multiple motion alerts indicating recordings had been captured. Deputies say the footage showed Dingus smelling at least 4 pairs of her underwear for several seconds and also touching his groin area over his clothes. Richland County's Children's Services passed the report along to law enforcement the same day the alleged incident occurred, and a deputy later interviewed the girl at her school. The deputy later contacted Dingus and arranged a meeting, but the conversation did not happen after his attorney advised canceling it. Dingus appeared in court on Thursday and pleaded not guilty. He was released after posting 10% of a $10,000 bond. He was forced to wear a GPS monitor and barred him from contacting the accuser. Okay. Registered Republican, he became mayor of Butler in 2022. He was elected to a full term. He also struck a fleeing suspect with his car. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah. Fucking panty sniffer going wild here. Dev, you gonna be streaming today? Not after this, no. I'm going back to God damn it. I'm going back to cleaning after this. Check your Boxtrick super chats. I also don't have access to that on this computer. I'm sorry, man, but thank you. Whatever you gave, thank you. And I will hop in. I'll check it out next time, okay? Sorry, but thank you. Finally, artwork featuring Christ overlaid with Looney Tunes characters has been removed by the Sydney Council after threats of violence. Oh my God. Okay, so this artwork was put up with Looney Tunes characters kind of photoshopped in. A Sydney council has removed a playful artwork of Jesus Christ overlaid with Looney Tunes characters after a torrent of online abuse. Sydney artist Phil James's work, Jesus Speaks to the Daughters of Jerusalem, was removed from the Blake Art Prize exhibition at the Casula Powerhouse Arts Center after fierce criticism was directed at the artist and gallery. Okay. A last-minute online protest claimed that the oil on lithograph work mocked the Christian religion, with some protesters threatening the museum and its staff with violence. That's fucking crazy. Listen, this is obviously sacrilegious, but you know what? That's free speech, baby. To threaten them with violence over this is fucking ridiculous. $20 Alaskan Night. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And I thought my former mayor screwing a journalist in the mayor's office was embarrassing. Thanks very much, man. They're learning from Islam. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad when Islam does it too. This is bad. This shit's bad. He received about 200 vile social media messages on Friday and Saturday, with the gallery receiving over 60 phone calls from protesters on Friday alone. I do like stirring a bit of a reaction with my work, but the novelty very quickly wore off on Friday. The level of vitriol and the sheer volume of it was actually frightening. I've been doing these sorts of works for around 15 years, and I've had one or two people upset something like this. It was vile and not at all Christian. Oh my God. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Going after fucking artists like this has always been ridiculous to me. I don't care if Christians feel fucking offended. I don't care if Muslims feel fucking offended. Fuck the Muslims, dude. Like, fuck the Christians. Fuck all of them. This is ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. This shit. This fucking nonsense. Stop going after artists for this nonsense. Okay. We've come to the end of all the articles for today. Let me just take them away here. I did talk with Adam and Sitch about going on Adam and Sitch tonight, but I don't know what we're talking about, man. What's the scoop? I'll check my DMs now. I'm checking my DMs now. No, Adam and Sitch wanted me to go on a few weeks ago, but I was still sick back then. And I said, yeah, I'll go on whenever you want. But I don't know what the topic is. Is there a topic? I now need to see my fucking self. Adam and Sitch, where are you? Adam and Sitch, what are you do? Live. SFO joins. AOC flops. Leftist film critics blow. Phil DeFranco, Ben Shapiro, Peter Boghossian. Okay. It seems like it's not happening for another hour and change. Got. Just a whole bunch of topics, yeah. But okay, I'm done for now. I guess I'll go back and keep cleaning till it's time to do something else. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, man. I guess I'll see you on Adam and Sitch in 2 hours or so. I'm going to go back to cleaning till then. I will check DMs later, guys. Thank you for everything you sent me. I promise I'll get to it. I promise. Thank you for all the support. We're going to go off and raid Metal Commander because he's always a good boy. He's a great dude. And see you later, guys. Have a good one. Bye.